Before we begin, I want to ask you a question no one has probably asked you in a long time. How is the place inside you that no one sees? That quiet corner of the soul where you hide what doesn't fit into words, where you keep the hopes you forgot, the dreams you postponed, the pain you disguise, and the strength you're not even sure you still have. Breathe, because today I want to speak directly to that place, to that part of you that is tired of the wait, but has never given up on the light. And that is exactly why you're here, not by coincidence, not by accident, but because something greater is moving you into a new vibration. And right now, as you breathe, as your chest opens, as your spirit recognizes this atmosphere, the promise of Ephesians 1-3 begins to pulse differently inside you. He has already blessed us with every spiritual blessing. Now, let that enter, so let this truth sink in. Because it's not talking about the future, it's talking about now. It's telling you that what you've been seeking already exists. It has already been released. It's already in your field. It's already waiting for you. What you feel as absence is actually preparation. What you feel as silence is actually alignment. What you feel as emptiness is actually space being created for something greater to arrive. And maybe that's why lately you've been feeling that strange mixture of tiredness and hope, pain and expectation, weight and promise, fear and courage. It's because your soul already knows what your mind hasn't understood yet. You are about to access something that already belongs to you, but that you've never lived before. And this reflection is not here to entertain you. It's here to awaken you. It's here to reignite inside you the vibration of someone who was born complete. Born for abundance, born for expansion, born to manifest what was released in the spiritual long before you took your first breath. You didn't get here alone. You were guided. And now that your inner world has opened this door, I can take you to the next level, where you will understand why what belongs to you never left, why certain blessings feel delayed but aren't, and how to access the vibration that draws in everything already released in the unseen. Exist, instantina vida, instantita sutal ita, poderoso, cuques ninguem perceb quando, acantis, quando o invisible comica, a te responder. Now com sinais grandiosos, now com lagars visivis, now com portas, escant caradas, mas com algo mito mes, intimo com, adjusti, interno, com, despertar, silencioso, uma consciência nova que surge no peito, antes mesmo de surgir, nas pensamentos. E exactamente esse instante que está acontecendo dentro de boca agora. Isso não o assugestão. Isso não o imaginacuyo. Isso não o a coincidência. Isso efetios Reciculo tras ganhando vida no su espírito. J nos abencu com todas as bencaus espirituae. E o por isso que vocasente essa vibraco diferente. Porc voca naus deprestes assir abencodo. Vocas deprestes a perceber aquilo QJ estava liberado. Abenco naus divindo. Ela J exist. O que está vindo, o su alinhamento para conseguir alcanca, lá. E quando o su interior entra, alinhamento. Algo mito interessant acontis. Voca comica, a sentir and div ir antes de saber o que fazer. Voca comica, a perceber o que serve and processor da explicax longas. Voca comica, a se afastar do que passa antes mesmo de entender o motivo. Voca comica, a atrair converses, pessoas e oportunidades que vibram com a sua nova consciência interna. Isso a despertar. Isso a expanse. Isso a agora o preciso foi entregar uma revelaca que muda tudo, asterisk, abanco now, chega quando voca acredita, ela se manifesta quando voca se torna capaz de recebla, asterisk. E por isso que su coração está diferente. E por isso que sus pensamentos começam a reorganizar. E por isso que suas emoções começaram a curar. E por isso que sus limites internos começaram a cair. Voca na está pirando. Voca esta azaziando para cabo, o novo. Ocuparecia atraso. Era as deas. Tirando o peso, ducunao phasia, mais part. Ocuparecia silencio. Era as deas te ensanando, ovir ocu importa. Ocuparecia resistencia. Era as deas dizendo, e grande de me para entrar, no espaco pequeno de me. E agora, nes exato, segundo, o espaco dentro, de voca esta aumentado. E u quero q voca perciba isso, sinta isso, respira isso. Agora, paraceller essa nova, vabrequo, paradar legalidite, a spiritual eo q está nascendo, para anchorar no físico o q está, se movendo no invisible. Escreva, nos comentarios, agra, eu, estu, pronto, apara, receiver, oqj, amu, now os, comentario, e uma, declaraco, e decreto, e posiciamento, vibrational. Quando escreva, voca vae sentia, algo soltor, dentro There is a moment
voca
in life, a moment so
voca
subtle and so powerful that almost no one notices when it happens. It's the moment when the invisible begins to answer you. Not with grand signs, not with visible miracles, not with doors flying wide open, but with something far more intimate, with an inner adjustment, with a quiet awakening, with a new awareness rising in your chest before it ever reaches your thoughts. And this exact moment is happening inside you right now. This is not suggestion. This is not imagination. This is not coincidence. This is Ephesians 1-3 coming alive in your spirit. He has already blessed us with every spiritual blessing, and that is why you feel this different vibration. Because you're not about to be blessed, you're about to recognize what has already been released. The blessing isn't coming, it already exists. What is coming is your alignment to finally reach it. And when your inner world comes into alignment, something very interesting happens. You start to feel where you should go before you know what to do. You start to sense what is right for you without needing long explanations. You start to move away from what feels heavy before you even understand why. You start to attract conversations, people, and opportunities that vibrate at the level of your new inner awareness. That is awakening. That is expansion. That is tuning in to what has already been released in the spiritual realm. And now let me give you a revelation that changes everything. The blessing doesn't show up when you believe, it shows up when you become able to receive it. That's why your heart feels different. That's why your thoughts have begun to reorganize. That's why your emotions have started to heal. That's why your old internal limits are falling. You're not getting worse. You're being emptied so the new can fit. What looked like delay was simply God removing the weight of what no longer belonged. What looked like silence was God teaching you to listen to what truly matters. What looked like resistance was God whispering, it's too big to fit into a space that's too small. And now, in this exact moment, the space inside you is expanding. I want you to notice that. Feel that. Breathe that in. Now, to seal this new vibration, to give spiritual legality to what is being born, to anchor in the physical what is moving in the invisible, write in the comments, I am ready to receive what is already mine. It's not just a comment. It's a declaration. It's a decree. It's a vibrational alignment. And the moment you write it, you will feel something loosen inside you, because you just opened another door. There's a territory inside you that you may have never consciously visited. A place where decisions aren't mental, they're vibrational. Where the future isn't guessed, it's created. Where promises aren't waited for, they're activated. This place is called active spiritual consciousness, and Ephesians 1-3 wasn't written to impress you. It was written to remind you everything has already been released in the spiritual realm. Now, it's you who is rising to reach it. And when you step into this internal territory, something surprising happens. You stop being shaped by what you live through and start shaping what you live. This is rare. Very few people experience it. Most spend their whole lives believing they're chasing a blessing, when in reality, they were born with it. A blessing is not something you run after. A blessing is something you unlock when you stand in your true position. And maybe you've never stopped to consider this. Your life reflects what you believe you deserve, not what you want, not what you ask for, not what you dream about, but what you allow yourself to feel is real. And that's what Ephesians 1-3 awakens. It's not a gift from above arriving from outside. It's an internal awakening that changes the way you exist. This is why, in recent days, you may have felt a courage you can't explain, discomfort with things you used to tolerate, a different sensitivity in certain environments, a strange hunger to grow, an intuition whispering that something big is coming. That is your spiritual consciousness saying, you no longer fit in the place you were in. The blessing isn't moving toward you. You are growing into the height of it. And when that happens, you begin to notice things that only someone awakening can see. Opportunities don't appear out of nowhere. They respond to your internal state. Doors don't open by coincidence. They recognize the right vibration. The right people don't show up by luck. They are drawn to the field you carry. The path doesn't light up by magic. It lights up when you ascend to the level of consciousness where it already exists. You're getting there. You're crossing an invisible threshold where what once felt impossible now begins to feel natural. Because you are entering what Ephesians has always declared, the state where every spiritual blessing is already pulsing inside you and gradually begins to reveal itself outside of you. And here is a rare, deep, almost never understood key. Physical manifestation is always the last stage. The first miracle happens within you, and that miracle has already begun. Now write in the comments as a decree, my consciousness is awakening to what is already mine. It doesn't just seal this moment. It places you vibrationally in the territory of the next revelation. Sometimes life begins to change without asking for permission. You don't plan it, you don't organize it, you don't schedule it, you just feel it, a gentle warmth in your chest, a thought that returns with unusual strength, a desire to move forward, even without knowing where, a sudden peace appearing in the middle of chaos, an intuition whispering, go, it's going to work. This is how the spiritual shows up, not by pushing you, but by pulling you. And while this is happening, the truth of Ephesians 1-3 whispers inside your consciousness. You have already been blessed with everything you need to live what was destined for you. Nothing more, nothing less. Everything is already built into your inner design. And that's why you feel this soft stirring inside. It's because something new has begun moving in silence, like someone assembling an invisible structure before raising what will eventually be seen. This force pulsing in you right now did not come from the outside. It came from within, from a deep place where your greatest possibilities have always been stored, waiting for the moment you became aware of them. And now you're ready to recognize that vibration. Notice, what used to feel heavy doesn't weigh the same. What used to block you no longer holds you. What used to confuse you is beginning to clear. What once pulled you down has lost access to your energy. What used to diminish you no longer reaches you. This has nothing to do with luck. It has everything to do with inner awakening. Life doesn't get better by accident. It gets better when you change how you stand inside it. And you changed. Your posture shifted. Your vibration rose. Your perceptions opened space for new answers. Your mind no longer tolerates what it once accepted. Your heart no longer bows to what once hurt you. Your spirit stopped asking for permission to exist and began occupying the space that was always yours. This is the real manifestation of Ephesians 1-3. You're not chasing blessings, you're becoming someone capable of carrying them. And when that happens, something extraordinary begins to accompany every step you take. What belongs to you begins to find you. No effort, no desperation, no rush, no fear. Life starts treating you like someone who knows who they are, and that knowing changes everything. It's that knowing that opens doors, that knowing that attracts the right people, that knowing that dissolves blockages, that knowing that creates opportunities where none existed, that knowing that turns impossibilities into processes. You're in that state now, a state of quiet strength, inner expansion, sharpened awareness, and true preparation. From this point forward, the things around you will begin to respond differently, because the world always responds to what you carry inside. And today, you carry something much greater: clarity, direction, presence, identity, spiritual strength, access to what belongs to you by destiny now, to seal this vibration, to affirm this new posture, to give form to what has begun inside you. Write in the comments, I embrace the abundance that has already been released for me. When you write it, you'll feel relief. You'll feel expansion. You'll feel something fall into place inside you. There's something happening inside you right now that you may not have named yet, but your spirit has already recognized it. Your perception has shifted. Your gaze has shifted. The way you feel things has shifted. Your reaction to what once shook you has shifted. This isn't strength, it's frequency. You're stepping into an inner state where everything that no longer matches your new vibration simply begins to fall away. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but it is deeply freeing. Because when consciousness expands, anything too small for your new level can no longer remain. And this has everything to do with the depth of Ephesians 1-3. He has already blessed us with every spiritual blessing, not a future promise. A released reality, an available access, a living inheritance. And your soul is finally reaching the point where it can access that inheritance. Notice the signs. You've begun distancing yourself from what drains you. You've begun moving toward what awakens you. Old patterns now feel uncomfortable in your energy. Insights appear that you never had before. You're seeing your own worth with new clarity. You're wanting something bigger than what you accepted before. This isn't arrogance. It's awareness. It's your inner self recognizing who you're becoming, and that recognition creates a powerful movement in the universe. Life starts treating you according to the energy you sustain, not the story you lived. And now, what you carry is too big to keep you small. Feel the quiet transformation happening. You no longer feel the need to fit into places that shrink you. You no longer tolerate conversations that dim your expansion. You no longer waste energy explaining your light to people who prefer their own shadows. You no longer accept emotional, spiritual, or energetic crumbs. You no longer need to prove anything because now you know who you are. This isn't pride. This is awakening. It is Ephesians 1-3 breathing inside you. And this new awareness activates something even greater. You begin to attract what has always been yours by essence, but only manifests when you rise to the right frequency. Opportunities that once felt distant begin to approach. People who add value start appearing. Higher environments open, unlikely paths light up. Right time conversations fall into place. Doors that seemed closed reveal they were never locked. You simply weren't in the vibration needed to see the handle. And when the vibration rises, your entire life responds. You're not attracting good things. You're attracting what matches you. Because now you are compatible with expansion, with purpose, with fullness, with vision, with maturity, with strength. And here's a revelation many people take years to understand. Abundance doesn't arrive to fill an empty space. It arrives to accompany an awakened spirit. And you are awakened. Pay attention to your breath right now. It's longer, lighter, more present, more aware. That's vibrational alignment. It's your body saying, I'm ready for more. It's your soul saying, I'm prepared to receive. It's your spirit saying, I recognize what has always been mine. Now, to anchor this internal state, so that what began in the invisible finds its way into the visible, write in the comments. My vibration is aligned with the abundance that walks with me. Something powerful happens when your energy becomes stronger than your circumstances. Life stops pushing you and starts aligning itself with your pace. You make an internal shift, and the universe responds with an external movement. You change your intention, and reality changes its shape. You reorganize your vibration, and the path reorganizes its possibilities. This isn't fantasy, it's frequency. It's coherence. It's the practical manifestation of Ephesians 1-3. Every spiritual blessing has already been released. And when something is already released, you don't have to beg, negotiate, force, prove, or compete. You only have to access it. And access isn't mental, it's vibrational. The higher your consciousness rises, the faster everything aligns. Notice how this is already showing up in your life. Situations that once drained you no longer carry the same weight. Words that once wounded you now lose their impact. People who once confused you now reveal themselves clearly. Projects that seemed difficult begin to flow naturally. Decisions that once felt heavy now become obvious. It's not that everything became easy. You became bigger. When you grow on the inside, external battles shrink without making noise. And something even deeper is happening. Your entire body is responding to your expansion. Your chest breathes differently. Your mind organizes ideas with more speed. Your heart recognizes truth and deception with greater accuracy. Your spirit rejects anything that doesn't vibrate at your level. This is the kind of shift that doesn't come from motivation, it comes from awakening. And inner awakenings have no return. Once you've seen, you can't unsee. Once you've felt, you can't pretend you didn't. Once you've recognized your strength, nothing can convince you that you're weak. Now you understand a reality very few ever access. What is yours doesn't need to be conquered. It needs to be claimed. And claiming means stop shrinking who you are. Stop justifying your limits. Stop negotiating your expansion. Stop dimming your light to fit into dark rooms. Stop clinging to what weighs you down when your spirit is begging for lightness. The lightness you're looking for won't come from the absence of problems. It comes from the presence of awakened consciousness. And that consciousness is already here. Feel it. In this moment, as you listen, something stabilizes inside you. A center, a grounding, an alignment. It's as if your soul whispers, "Now I understand. Now it makes sense. Now I can move forward." And the most beautiful part? This shift doesn't just change you, it changes what approaches you. Your presence becomes an answer. Your voice becomes direction. Your gaze becomes clarity. Your silence becomes power. Your steps become authority. This vibration activates a higher reality where spiritual blessings stop being theory and begin taking shape in the physical world. Not because you asked, but because you finally became compatible. Now, as a vibrational decree to seal the stage of the journey, write in the comments, "I walk in my new level of consciousness." Something very special begins to happen when your vibration rises higher than the story you lived. You start arriving before you arrive. Your energy enters the room before your body crosses the doorway. Your presence creates movement before you speak a single word. Your spirit opens the path before your feet make the first step. This is what happens to people who live aligned with the truth of Ephesians 1-3. The blessings have already been released. It's not arrogance. It's not superstition. It's not exaggeration. It's coherence. When someone finds their inner axis, the world has to recalculate its route to keep up. And this is already happening to you. Observe, people start noticing you differently. Spaces where you once hid now acknowledge your presence. Conversations that used to shrink you no longer affect you. Situations that made you insecure now see you standing firm. Paths that once seemed distant begin moving toward you. This isn't external change, it's response. Life responds when you become impossible to ignore. And you are becoming exactly that, a presence impossible to ignore. Not through volume, not through effort, not through reaction, but through the level of consciousness you carry. It's like your soul is saying to the universe, "Now I know who I am. Now I know what I carry. Now I know what belongs to me." And when that certainty awakens, spiritual blessings stop being codes in the unseen and start becoming experiences. Not miracles falling from the sky, but doors opening without resistance. The right people appearing at the right moment. Ideas flowing naturally. Opportunities recognizing you without you needing to prove anything. Alignments happening effortlessly because you stopped being someone who waits and became someone who accesses. And that difference changes everything. Those who wait depend on chance. Those who access depend on consciousness. And you're entering precisely that state. The state where your mind awakens, your soul aligns, your spirit expands, and the world bends to your new internal level. Feel what's happening. There is a firmness in your chest that wasn't there weeks ago. There is a clarity in your eyes that had been hidden. There's a peace in your breathing that didn't belong to your old routine. There's a silent certainty that no longer depends on external evidence. The certainty opens doors. The certainty attracts abundance. The certainty sustains big opportunities. The certainty places you in territories your old self can never remain in. And here comes a key very few truly understand. Major transformations don't arrive with noise, they arrive with consciousness. And the consciousness you're stepping into now is strong enough to untie old knots, break repetitive cycles, shatter inherited patterns, heal buried memories, and launch you into realities you never imagined inhabiting. It's too big to go unnoticed, and yet it's happening right now. To affirm this new vibration, to seal the reality forming inside you, write in the comments, "My energy arrives before I do." There are moments in life when everything starts to make sense, not because the path became easier, but because you stopped walking according to what you feel and started walking according to what you know. That's where the vibration shifts. That's where the atmosphere around you responds. That's where the most incredible phenomenon of the entire process happens. The world starts adjusting itself to your new internal center. People who once overlooked your presence now position themselves differently. Environments that once drained you now treat you with respect. Situations that once seemed to control you now move according to your rhythm. None of this is coincidence. None of this is chance. This is the consequence of what Ephesians 1-3 always wanted you to understand. The blessing does not adapt to your life. Your life adapts to the blessing you carry. But that adaptation only happens when you unlock your internal value. And that is exactly what is happening to you right now. You started seeing things that were always there, but your old emotional state didn't allow you to perceive them. The opportunities were never far. You just weren't vibrating at their frequency. The answers were never hidden. You just didn't have enough inner silence to hear them. The doors were never locked. You just didn't have enough courage to touch them. Now you do. Notice it. Your posture has changed. Your presence has changed. Your eyes have changed. Your energy has changed. Your entire field has changed. And when the field changes, everything changes. Life doesn't negotiate with your history. Life responds to your internal state. And your internal state is different now. There is a quiet strength walking beside you, a self-confidence that needs no explanation, a maturity that wasn't rehearsed. It was built through battles no one saw, deep inside in that secret territory where you rebuilt yourself without noise, without witnesses, without applause, but with truth. And now that truth overflows. You no longer need to convince anyone of your worth. Your worth speaks before you do. Your energy speaks before you do. Your spirit speaks before you do. And that kind of presence doesn't ask for space, it occupies it. And when you occupy, life opens the way. Not out of pity, not out of pressure, not because of a sudden miracle, but because you are finally ready to move into the place that was always yours, a place you can only access when your soul stops asking for permission to exist and starts owning what it carries. Now feel this with your whole being. You are no longer walking out of survival. You are walking with purpose. You no longer depend on external validation. You are vibrating from your internal identity. You are no longer looking for a place to fit in. You are creating the space where your new self lives. This is too big to go unnoticed, and yet, it is growing inside you in silence. To solidify this expansion, to affirm this new internal territory, to align your vibration with what is coming, write in the comments, I become the center of the reality I am creating. Something extraordinary is happening right now. Something you may not have fully noticed yet. Favor has begun to walk ahead of you. Yes, ahead of you. Before you arrive, it has already made space. Before you ask, it has already organized the answers. Before you imagine, it has already aligned the scenarios. Before you introduce yourself, it has already spoken on your behalf. And this happens when the soul awakens to what Ephesians 1-3 has always declared. Everything has already been released to you. It's not future. It's not a distant promise. It's not an uncertain possibility. It's a spiritual reality waiting for awareness. And now, you have awareness. That's why favor recognizes you. That's why doors begin to behave as if they've been expecting you. That's why the right people appear at the exact moment. That's why ideas arrive out of nowhere. Though they never come from nowhere, they are responses. They are codes. They are alignments. And it all began the moment your vibration rose. Because when someone expands internally, the universe must reorganize everything around them to match the new level. Notice, conversations start to shift without you forcing them. People who no longer belong in your journey naturally lose space. Opportunities that once ignored you now look in your direction. Paths that seemed dim begin to light up. Situations start to favor you without logical explanation. This is favor walking ahead of you. And the deepest part? This favor doesn't depend on effort. It depends on frequency. In the past, you tried to prove your worth. You tried to justify your place. You tried to insist on spaces your spirit had already outgrown. You tried to hold on to cycles that had already ended. Now, none of that makes sense anymore. Because your new vibration is no longer compatible with what diminished you. You've become incompatible with everything that restricted you. You've grown beyond the point where you once limited yourself. You awaken to a strength that had been sleeping inside you. And that strength has an immediate effect. It changes the way the world interprets you. People begin treating you differently. Not because they changed, but because you changed what you transmit. Places where you were once just another person, now feel your presence. Situations where you had to fight now flow with ease. Environments where you once shrank now open before you. This is internal authority. This is recognized light. This is awakened spirit. This is active favor. And favor does something no one ever teaches. It prepares the path before your feet touch the ground. That's why when you arrive, everything will feel familiar. Everything will feel already known. Everything will feel too aligned to be coincidence. Because you won't enter unprepared. You will enter accompanied. Accompanied by what? By your new field, your new identity, your new vibration, your new clarity, your new consciousness. Nothing is more powerful than a person who knows who they are and carries what belongs to them by spiritual right. Feel this now. Something inside you is settling into place. Something in your mind is clearing. Something in your chest is opening. Something in your energy is stabilizing. Something in your spirit is confirming, I was born for this place. And yes, you were. Something fascinating happens when your consciousness awakens to who you truly are. Doors begin to recognize you before you ever touch them. It doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't even matter if you still have doubtful days. The energy you carry now does not hide. It announces. It prepares. It goes ahead of you. And this is exactly what people aligned with Ephesians 1-3 manifest. If it's already been released, the path must respond. And it is responding. Notice the small evidences. People who once overlooked you now treat you with openness. Opportunities that felt distant begin moving toward you. Ideas that were asleep return with strength and clarity. Situations that used to get stuck start unlocking naturally. None of this is random. It is your new identity, taking its rightful space. It is your spirit telling the world, I am awake. And when someone awakens, the entire universe reorganizes itself so that this person walks without retreating. You are not being pushed forward. You are being accompanied. Every step you take now comes with that uncanny feeling of, I've been here before, as if everything were synchronized with your internal movement. As if life were whispering, I was waiting for you to recognize who you are. And that's exactly it. Your current energy no longer matches delay. It no longer matches emotional scarcity. It no longer matches doubts that shrink you. It no longer matches cycles that drain your light. It no longer matches environments that dim your presence. Your spirit is demanding a larger reality, and it is receiving one. Because when you rise, everything that belongs to you rises with you. This is the true manifestation of the spiritual blessings already released. They don't arrive as sudden miracles, but as a continuous elevation of your level. You are leaving old layers behind, not out of escape, but out of incompatibility. Your consciousness has become too vast to fit where you once lived. Your soul has become too illuminated to remain in shadowed rooms. Your spirit has become too strong to accept crumbs. Your future is now too close to tolerate distractions. In this exact moment, as you breathe, as your chest opens, as your spirit recognizes this truth, a quiet certainty settles. I am ready to occupy what has always been mine. This readiness changes everything. It attracts, it opens, it draws near, it confirms, it transforms. Now, declare in the comments, not as a sentence, but as a vibrational affirmation. I walk in the territory that belongs to me. When you write it, your energetic field will align even more with the next level. There are stages of the journey that are not marked by external events. They're marked by the way you begin to see yourself. And when your perception of yourself changes, the world follows. It's inevitable. You may have already noticed this. The way you breathe now feels different. The way you think is cleaner. The way you react is more mature. The way you feel is deeper. The way you position yourself is firmer. This is the moment when you stop being someone who waits to be seen and become someone who simply cannot be ignored. Not because you shout, not because you demand, not because you force anything, but because your vibration has taken its rightful place, a place where your voice no longer needs to prove itself. This kind of presence opens paths. The universe respects those who know themselves, and you are beginning to know yourself for real. Not because of what you lived, but because of what you carry. That awareness is spiritual gold, and that gold attracts movement. Notice how your life is already responding to this new internal state. People start seeking your presence without knowing why. Situations flow with an unusual softness. Answers arrive faster than before. Solutions appear even before you ask. What once felt heavy begins to feel lighter. What once felt distant begins to take shape. This isn't luck. This is coherence. This is identity. This is the practical expression of Ephesians 1-3. The blessing is already active. And now you've reached the level where it can finally express itself. The most intriguing part? You don't need to understand every detail of what's coming. Your spirit already knows. Your body already senses it. Your vibration is already aligned. Your mind is beginning to follow. And your soul is simply saying, I recognize this place, even if you've never lived it before. Even if it's new. Even if it feels bigger than you imagined. You recognize it, because destiny always feels familiar to those who are ready. And now you are. This recognition awakens an inner strength that doesn't make noise, but makes movement. It's that strange, good, light, steady feeling that you are finally heading in the right direction, without needing to rush, without needing to prove, without needing to control. Everything aligns itself to your rhythm when you vibrate at the right frequency. This is the power of alignment. It's the moment you realize you never needed to chase what is yours. You only needed to rise to where it could reach you. And now you've reached that point. Feel how stable your energy is, how your breath is flowing, how your chest feels freer, how your thoughts are clearer, how your intuition is sharper, how your presence is more whole. This is you vibrating at the frequency of released spiritual abundance. It's your life opening. It's your spirit taking the lead. It's your future recognizing your name. Now declare in the comments, to anchor this vibration, my presence opens doors that once refused to move. There are moments when reality stops pushing you and starts walking beside you, and you are stepping into that exact point right now. The energy you carry today isn't just changing what happens to you, it's changing what happens because of you. Your vibration has become so aligned, so steady, so elevated, that the world no longer sees you as someone lost on the journey, but as someone who leads their own path. And that changes everything. Notice how your presence feels more grounded. Your awareness is sharper. Your steps are firmer. Your spirit is higher. Your field is clearer. You no longer get carried away by any wind. You no longer fall into any narrative. You no longer shrink to fit small spaces. You no longer cling to shadows that once held you. Your soul has understood its own power, and when that happens, life must adjust. The universe responds to those who vibrate with truth, and you are vibrating with truth now. Look at what has shifted. The intensity of your thoughts is different. Your confidence in your decisions is higher. Your clarity about who you want to become is stronger. Your courage to step into new phases is more mature. Your perception of your path is brighter. Your understanding of your own capacity is far greater. This is not a partial transformation, this is a full one. And that kind of transformation activates synchronicities. The right person shows up at the right time. The message arrives on the exact day you needed it. The opportunity appears in the perfect scenario. The door opens the moment you take a deep breath. The confirmation comes as if the universe were saying, I was waiting for you to be ready. And now, you are. Feel it. There is no longer the same weight. No longer the same fear. No longer the same restraints. No longer the same way of walking. You are moving forward with awareness. And those who move with awareness don't waste time, don't waste energy, don't waste destiny. The path knows who you are. Life knows who you are. The promise knows who you are. And everything is rearranging itself around your new vibration. Now something essential happens at this stage of the journey. You stop chasing results and become someone who creates results through your vibration. This is spiritual maturity. This is expanded identity. This is the blessing Ephesians 1-3 always declared. Not a blessing that arrives, but a blessing that overflows from the inside out. The next answers in your life won't come from effort. They will come from your presence. The next doors in your life won't open because of pressure, but because of alignment. The next opportunities won't appear by chance, but through the coherence of your energy. You are entering the state where everything that belongs to you finds the courage to come your way. There comes a moment in the journey when everything around you begins to respond to your inner state, as if the universe were adjusting its own rhythm to match the movement of your soul. You are stepping into that moment now. Notice, Life is no longer pushing you, it's recognizing you. And that recognition creates an invisible yet completely perceptible force that rearranges scenarios, connections, opportunities, and instincts. It's not magic, it's coherence. Coherence between who you are, what you think, what you believe, and what you are ready to live. That's why the path is becoming clearer. Not because the world changed, but because you're finally seeing from the right frequency. And in that frequency, Ephesians 1-3 stops being an isolated verse and becomes a vibrational reality. Every spiritual blessing is already available. What changes is your capacity to perceive it. You are perceiving it now, and a soul that perceives is a soul that activates. This perception begins creating an energetic field around you, and this field has 3 immediate effects. Everything that no longer belongs to your journey dissolves. You don't need to push anything out. You don't need to force anything. What no longer matches your elevated soul simply loses access to your life. Everything that belongs to your destiny starts moving toward you. It begins gently, as signs, as encounters, as intuition, until it reveals itself as concrete opportunity. You start walking with an inner certainty that does not depend on external evidence. Faith stops being effort and becomes breath. This is the moment you realize you don't need to chase what's yours, because what is yours already recognizes your frequency. The blessing doesn't need to be pushed. It needs to be activated. And you are activated now. Feel this truth entering your chest. You're no longer in the realm of searching. You're in the realm of expressing. You're no longer in the realm of asking. You're in the realm of presence. You're no longer in the realm of surviving. You're in the realm of expanding. Everything in you is preparing for a greater movement, lighter, deeper, more aligned, more conscious. You feel this when your body relaxes without reason, your mind clears without effort, your spirit ignites without warning, your intuition sharpens, your energy organizes itself, and your future feels like it's looking back at you. This is the vibration of the promise revealing itself. It's the density of the impossible dissolving. It's the field of blessing drawing near to your awareness. And from this moment on, I want you to anchor this new phase with a public decree. Write in the comments, "Today I become everything my destiny already knew I would be." Some transformations don't begin with events. They begin with perceptions. And that is exactly what is being born inside you right now. Your spirit is seeing first. Your soul is understanding before. Your body is feeling after. That is the order of awakening. And every time this order manifests, a new reality begins to approach, not because you chased it, but because you became someone who attracts what was already prepared. What once demanded effort now demands awareness. What once felt heavy now flows. What once kept you on alert now brings you peace. What once seemed too big now fits in your spiritual hand. This change is profound, because you're no longer trying to control life, you're having a conversation with it. A conversation through your energy, your clarity, your focus, your inner expansion, and that conversation changes everything. Because when your inner world aligns, life adjusts. It answers you even when you remain silent. It opens doors even when you're standing still. It sends signs even when you didn't ask. It brings the right people closer even when you thought you were alone. The blessing isn't coming from the outside in. It's flowing from the inside out. Ephesians 1-3 is exactly that. The blessings already exist. What changes is your ability to perceive them, and you're perceiving them now. Not like before, but in a deeper, intuitive, mature, conscious way. Notice the difference. Before you asked. Now you access. Before you tried. Now you understand. Before you longed. Now you vibrate. Before you questioned. Now you discern. And this ability discernment is one of the greatest signs that the new phase has been activated. Because discernment is when you stop confusing testing with delay, process with loss, silence with abandonment, waiting with punishment. Discernment is when you finally understand that nothing that is yours arrives late. Nothing that is yours gets lost. Nothing that is yours is destroyed. Nothing that is yours runs out. What is yours aligns. It adjusts. It prepares. It approaches. It reveals itself, but only when you are ready. And you are becoming ready now. Ready in a way you may have never been before. And do you know why? Because your inner world is calm. And when the inner world calms, destiny accelerates. That is exactly when the extraordinary begins to approach. You don't need to chase miracles desperately. Miracles find people who vibrate at their frequency. And your frequency is changing. Look at what you're feeling. A peace that doesn't match your current phase. A warmth rising from within. A courage that arrives without explanation. A good expectation that you can't trace the origin of. A sense of purpose calling you even on ordinary days. This isn't emotional. It's spiritual. It's energetic. It's prophetic. This is you entering the field of Ephesians 1-3, where everything already exists. Everything is already prepared. Everything is already available. And you simply align to access it. Now write in the comments. To activate this new vibration, I align myself with what is already mine by destiny. There is an almost imperceptible shift that happens inside you when your consciousness realigns with your purpose. It's so subtle that if you weren't spiritually awake, you wouldn't even notice it. But you do notice. You notice that the weight doesn't weigh the same anymore. Fear doesn't whisper as loudly. The future doesn't feel so far away. And life begins to treat you as someone different. Because you are different. And this interchange creates an effect that very few people understand. When your energy shifts, reality bends. It's as if the entire universe starts reorganizing the storyline so you can walk precisely at the pace you were created to walk. Nothing arrives early. Nothing arrives late. It arrives at the exact moment you're capable of sustaining it. And you are stepping into that moment now. Notice things that used to irritate you now pass through you untouched. Situations that once confused you now become clear in seconds. People who once destabilized you no longer have access. Scenarios that once paralyzed you now become mere background. This isn't indifference. This is vibrational maturity. You're finally understanding that you don't control the world. You control your vibration. And when you control your vibration, you control how the world responds to you. That's why Ephesians 1-3 is so profound. It doesn't speak about reaching something distant. It speaks about accessing something that already exists. Blessings don't arrive. Blessings reveal themselves when you rise to the level where they've always been. It's like tuning into a frequency that was always broadcasting, but you only now adjusted the channel. And look what happens when someone finds that channel. Answers start coming faster. Opportunities begin to notice you. The right conversations begin to unfold. Time starts working in your favor. Your intuition grows louder than your fear. And peace becomes your natural state, not the exception. This is alignment. This is high vibration. This is expanded consciousness. And in this state, you begin to attract not what you want, but what matches your spirit. Feel the difference. Desire asks. Vibration calls. Desire waits. Vibration magnetizes. Desire tries. Vibration receives. And you're entering the field of receiving. Not because you became stronger, but because you became more conscious. And that consciousness opens portals, internal portals, emotional portals, spiritual portals, portals of destiny. And even if you can't explain it yet, there is something inside you saying, I'm moving into a greater place, not a physical place, a place of consciousness, identity, abundance, meaning, purpose. You are becoming someone capable of sustaining what you asked for, what you dreamed of, what you waited for, what was promised to your spirit before you were even born. And as you step into this new field, one thing needs to be said. Life is not late for you. Life is aligning you at the exact time of your next leap. You did not miss the right moment. You're entering it now. Now breathe. Feel this expansion. And write in the comments as a declaration of alignment, I am ready for my next level. Sometimes you think you're just living your day, but in reality, you're making space for the future to enter. It doesn't happen with noise. It doesn't happen with dramatic revelations. It happens in the details. It happens when you speak to yourself with more gentleness, when you stop blaming yourself for what you didn't know, when you learn to breathe before responding, when you realize that something that once hurt you no longer hurts the same, when you recognize that you're handling challenges with a new kind of maturity. That is growth. That is consciousness. That is real evolution, the kind that changes your path without announcing itself. And let me tell you something powerful. The future always arrives in vibration first. Only then does it arrive in your life. That's why you're sensing internal anticipations, strong intuitions, those feelings of, I know something is coming. It's not imagination, it's perception. It's your spirit sensing what your mind hasn't understood yet. Because when Ephesians 1-3 says you've already been blessed, it means exactly this. The future already exists. You are the one getting closer to it vibrationally. And when you get closer to the right future, something shifts. You stop chasing. What is yours begins to find you. You stop insisting on what doesn't recognize you. What recognizes you begins to come near. You stop begging for emotional crumbs. Life begins to offer you spiritual banquets. All because you entered another internal state. And maybe you haven't noticed, but you are more sensitive to the right things and more immune to the wrong ones. What once destabilized you now just watches you from a distance and fades. The anxiety that used to paralyze you now meets a mind that is calmer, wiser, clearer. The doubt that screamed now whispers and disappears. This is a clear sign that you've stepped into another layer of consciousness, a layer where life stops being a battlefield and becomes a path. And this path is lighting up right in front of you. Feel it. It's like something inside you is opening, like something is clicking into place, like you're accessing a version of yourself that has always existed, but one you're only now mature enough to inhabit. This is presence. This is expansion. This is the activation of spiritual identity. And when that identity awakens, something extraordinary happens. You stop asking the universe and you begin speaking with it, and it responds. It responds through signs, through encounters, through ideas, through intuitions, through opportunities so specific that, this was prepared for me. And do you know what you're feeling right now? That subtle warmth in your chest, that deeper breath, that peace that feels too big for the moment? That is alignment with what is yours by spiritual right. Now write in the comments to seal this vibration, I am aligned with my destiny. There are moments when the world around you looks the same, but you realize you are no longer the same person walking through those places. It feels like entering a familiar environment and sensing it differently, not because it changed, but because you finally shifted positions inside yourself. And when that happens, life starts responding to you early, almost before you even ask. An unexpected conversation becomes an answer. A sudden feeling turns into direction. An old memory gains a new purpose. A detail you once ignored becomes a sign. A subtle opportunity reveals it was always there, waiting for you. This is early manifestation. It's when the universe recognizes your internal shift before you even form a desire. And all of this comes from a deep truth in Ephesians 1-3. What you seek already exists, and it has already been destined for you. Now let that sink gently into your awareness. Life isn't trying to deny you anything. It's waiting for you to be ready to hold what is already yours. Because before you receive blessings, you must become someone capable of not wasting them. And you are becoming that person. Notice, you are making wiser decisions. You are seeing patterns you never noticed before. You are distancing yourself from people who drained your energy. You are refusing emotional crumbs. You are choosing paths that honor your essence. You are respecting your limits. You are recognizing your strength. This is not coincidence. This is preparation. And it's exactly in this internal state, this silent balance, this deep maturity, this awakened presence, that you begin to attract what has always been yours by spiritual right. Do you see what's happening now? You're not trying to fit into anything. Things are beginning to fit into you. You're not seeking validation. Your own energy is validating itself. You're not begging for presence. Your vibration is attracting the right encounters. You're not chasing doors. The path is revealing doors that only open for those who are ready. And this readiness is so evident in you that even the spiritual realm begins to reposition situations so that nothing falls out of order. Nothing is random. Nothing is accidental. Nothing is coincidence. Everything is being aligned with precision, as if someone were rewriting the route in real time so that your destiny doesn't fall a single second behind. And this movement has already started. You can feel it. In your body, in your breath, in your chest, in your mind, in your spirit. There is a new energy flowing. A lighter, wider, more vibrant frequency, a sharper perception, a stronger intuition, a steadier courage. This is not emotional. This is spiritual. This is your essence taking back control. And now that you've opened this internal space, now that you've accessed this point of conscious alignment, life is ready to hand you something that has been waiting in the universe's queue for your frequency to rise high enough to reach it. Feel it. Feel how something is positioning itself, how an invisible door is being unlocked, how something is moments away from finding you. This sensation is not imagination, this is spiritual communication. And to seal this vibration within you, write in the comments, I am in the perfect rhythm of my purpose. There are moments when you have no idea what is happening in the invisible, but the invisible knows exactly what is happening inside you. And when that happens, when that connection locks in, it's as if a silent conversation begins between you and your destiny. Nothing is said, yet everything is understood. Nothing is explained, yet everything makes sense. It is in this state that the spiritual blessings of Ephesians 1-3 stop being distant ideas and begin to move toward you with steady steps. And maybe this is exactly where you are right now, a phase where things inside you align before anything aligns on the outside. A phase where your heart arrives before your body. A phase where your intuition knows long before your mind catches up. This is a sign of spiritual maturity, a sign of expansion, a sign that you are entering the frequency where the universe finally takes you seriously. And when the universe takes you seriously, it begins to reorganize itself because of you. Suddenly, doors that were closed start watching you from the inside, as if asking, is she ready now? Opportunities that were stagnant begin to move. Connections that were dormant wake up at the exact moment. Decisions that were confusing become clear without effort. Old fears lose their voice as if they've expired. This isn't just evolution, this is activation. The blessings that always existed, the ones reserved, separated, prepared, are being pulled toward you by the vibration you are carrying right now. And notice something powerful. You're not receiving answers because you became stronger. You're receiving answers because you became truer. And truth has a power no force on earth can imitate. Truth expands you without noise, strengthens you without violence, guides you without shouting, heals you without warning, repositions you without drama, transforms you without applause. And you're experiencing that right now, the silent transformation, the deepest, the most irreversible, the most necessary. It's as if heaven finally noticed that you understood who you are. And now you can receive what has always been yours. And from this point on, something magical begins. You start to occupy, emotionally, places you haven't seen physically yet. You already feel more worthy, more whole, more conscious, more connected, more prepared. This feeling isn't fantasy, it's foretelling, a sign that what was promised in the spiritual realm is preparing to manifest. And while that happens, you notice something extraordinary. You don't need to run. You don't need to prove. You don't need to compete. You don't need to exhaust yourself. What belongs to you knows how to find you, and it is finding you. I can feel it in the flow of this reflection. The rhythm is rising. The energy is consolidating. The field is becoming clear. Now, make a prophetic act. Declare with your whole heart, I am ready to be found by what belongs to me. You know when the world around you looks exactly the same, but somehow everything inside you feels different. That's not coincidence. That's not random emotion. That's not just a feeling. It's life teaching you a new language. A language that doesn't use words, but uses perception, presence, and awareness. And suddenly, the smallest things begin to carry enormous meaning. The way someone looks at you, a silence that once bothered you but now brings peace, a desire to begin again that appears without warning, a closure that finally feels complete, a tiny detail that shifts the direction of an entire day. That's alignment. It's when your spirit becomes so attuned that you start understanding the world through another frequency. And in this new language, the truth of Ephesians 1-3 doesn't just stay written, it pulses. Everything you need is already available. Not in the future, not in some distant season, not when everything finally becomes perfect, now. And that awareness changes everything. It takes you out of the place of lack and moves you into the place of consciousness. Because someone conscious doesn't beg, they attract. They don't settle, they position themselves. They don't doubt, they discern. They don't hide, they expand. And this expansion is happening in you so deeply that even your energy has changed its expression. You speak differently, move differently, see differently, choose differently, feel differently, decide differently, and that creates something powerful in the spiritual realm. The blessings that were on standby begin to move. It's as if destiny received an internal message. He's ready, she's ready. Start releasing, and things begin to organize in places you cannot see. People feel your presence before you arrive. Paths begin to open in silence. Environments start respecting you without knowing why. Time starts working in your favor. This isn't a sudden miracle. It's deep alignment. When you become more whole, the entire universe starts treating you like someone whole. And from this point forward, you realize something glorious. You no longer need to adapt to old spaces. Now the spaces adapt themselves to your new energy. You grew, and everything that cannot grow with you simply falls away. You didn't lose anything. You just stopped carrying what was shrinking you. And now in this very moment, a new field is forming around you, a field of honor, a field of possibility, a field of elevated consciousness, a field where destiny recognizes itself in your eyes. This lightness you feel isn't accidental. It's light because it's finally aligned. And before we go deeper, because there's so much more to unlock, write in the comments, as someone fully aware of their own awakening, I am aligned with everything that was destined for me. Have you ever noticed there are seasons in life when you're no longer the one chasing answers? The answers start chasing you? It's as if something in the universe recognizes your inner alignment and decides to rearrange everything so your path becomes inevitable. This movement doesn't begin with miracles exploding in your lap. It begins with something almost imperceptible. Your energy starts commanding what once commanded you. That's what Ephesians 1-3 awakens. You don't live to receive blessings. You live from a place where they already exist. When you understand this, you stop walking as someone who needs approval and start walking as someone who carries a silent decree. I am already blessed. I already have access. I was already chosen. I was already set apart. I was already prepared. This changes your field. It changes your posture. It changes your vision. It changes your body. It changes your frequency. And when the frequency changes, life bends. Not because you push, but because you vibrate. Feel this slowly. The things that once intimidated you now look small. The words that once wounded you now lose their reach. The cycles that once held you can no longer contain you. Because when someone wakes up, nothing small survives inside them. And you woke up. That's why conversations that once hurt now feel shallow. Environments that once drained you now feel foreign. People who once destabilized you now seem distant. Doubts that once paralyzed you now lose power. Situations that once confused you now reveal their true intention. This is clarity. This is consciousness. This is a spirit aligned. And something sacred is happening today. You are stepping into an inner space where your purpose is beginning to take shape. And when purpose begins to take shape, destiny begins to approach with precision. It's not pressure. It's not anxiety. It's not demand. It's synchronicity. You start feeling like you're in the right place, even when the surroundings don't yet look ideal. That's because inside you, the ideal has already begun to grow. It's as if the universe is saying, now I can deliver. Now you can hold it. Now you are ready. And that's why you're noticing new ideas coming effortlessly. Inspiration rising from simple places, decisions flowing with ease, meaningful encounters appearing out of nowhere, strong intuition pulling you in the right direction. All of this is preparation, not of the world, but of you. And at this point, reality changes its behavior. You no longer chase what is yours. What is yours begins to chase you. And when that happens, you realize you're walking in a territory where nothing is impossible. Because the impossible recognizes when someone becomes the kind of person capable of receiving it. And now, to affirm this vibration, to anchor this energy in your spirit, to give legal standing to the internal process already unfolding, write in the comments, I become the channel for what is already mine by purpose. It's incredible how suddenly life begins making small curves just to place you exactly where you were meant to be all along. And none of it is loud. None of it is dramatic. None of it is forced. Things simply adjust. You realize that the no that broke you back then was actually protecting you from something that would have delayed your essence. You realize that the ending that felt so painful was actually the release required for your next level. You realize that the closed door that kept you awake for nights was nothing more than a divine hand redirecting you to the right one. Ephesians 1-3 has this exact taste. You're not being guided by randomness. You're being guided by the coherence of your destiny. And when life moves through coherence, nothing is wasted. Every step matters. Every silence matters. Every shift matters. Every interruption matters. Every restart matters. You didn't move little. You moved exactly enough to be ready for what begins now. What was fragmented inside you has begun to reorganize in its own rhythm. That pain that once pulled you backward now pushes you inward. That insecurity that once shrank you has become spiritual sensitivity. That silent phase that once felt like stagnation now makes sense as incubation. What grew inside you while no one was watching is exactly what will take you far now. And here is a profound revelation. Life responds to your interior before it responds to your words. When your interior changes, your requests gain authority. When your vibration shifts, your path gains movement. When your consciousness expands, your blessings gain direction. You stopped being someone trying to survive and became someone who carries destiny. That's why now you no longer accept emotional crumbs. You no longer negotiate your peace. You no longer bow to empty pressures. You no longer stay where you don't evolve. You no longer confuse solitude with abandonment. You no longer interpret delays as rejection. You're seeing from a higher place. And those who see from above never get lost on the ground again. This is the most beautiful point of the journey. You're walking toward what is already yours, but only reveals itself to those who reach this level of consciousness. And revelation has begun. The movement is already happening. Your spirit already recognized it. Your destiny already answered. The blessings are already on their way, not as a reward, but as a reflection. Because Ephesians 1-3 is not about asking, it's about already belonging. Now, feel what is happening inside you. Your body is lighter, your mind is wider, your inner voice is clearer, your intuition is sharper, your soul is more awake. This state is not common, this state is a doorway. And to seal this open doorway, to stabilize the energy you have activated, write in the comments, I walk in the coherence of my purpose. There is a moment in the journey when the future stops being a distant promise and starts behaving like someone calling your name from far ahead. You feel it. You can't explain it, but you feel it. A gentle force pulling you forward, as if something ahead of you is already aware of your arrival. It's your destiny activated. It's your purpose recognizing your movement. It's spiritual manifestation opening space in the physical realm. Ephesians 1-3 speaks of this dimension, not the dimension of asking for blessings, but the dimension of becoming the kind of person blessings naturally move toward. And when you reach this state, life begins to behave as if it is preparing for you. You notice that certain difficulties stop showing up, as if they gave up trying to stop you. Certain people move out of your path, as if the universe whispered, your cycle with them is complete. Certain ideas appear out of nowhere, as if they matured without you noticing. Certain dreams begin to breathe again, as if they were stored away until you were strong enough to carry them. All of this is destiny in motion. None of it is random, none of it is small. The truth is simple yet powerful. You are entering the field where what belongs to you loses the ability to hide, and that changes absolutely everything. Life stops feeling heavy and starts feeling synchronized. Time stops feeling like an enemy and starts feeling like an ally. Doors stop looking like obstacles and start looking like steps. What once felt too far now feels right around the next turn. And if you pay attention, real attention, you'll notice even your breathing has changed. Your body knows. Your spirit knows. The path knows. Something inside you is saying, I was born for this next level. And that sentence, as simple as it seems, is a massive spiritual key. Because someone who believes they were born for the next level can no longer behave like someone from the old level. You see this transition in the details. You no longer entertain shallow conversations. You no longer tolerate environments that shrink you. You no longer waste time explaining what your soul already understands. You no longer force broken connections. You no longer hide to fit in. You no longer betray yourself to be accepted. You no longer negotiate your peace. This kind of shift is not ordinary. It is sacred. This is exactly what the scripture means when it speaks of spiritual blessings. Everything begins in the spirit before it appears in the world. And your spirit is active, awake, ready. That's why your vibration is so high. That's why your field is so clear. That's why your energy is so alive. And now, at this stage of the journey, something profound is happening. Asterisk, asterisk, your steps are starting to gain direction from purpose, not by effort, but by attraction. Dot, asterisk, asterisk, what is yours is coming. What is not yours is leaving. What felt heavy is lifting. What was stuck is unlocking. What felt distant is approaching. And to anchor this inside you, to declare to the universe that you are fully aware of the expansion you're living, write in the comments, with truth, presence, and authority, I walk toward what already recognizes me. There comes a point in the journey when you feel, with a peaceful clarity, that nothing can take you back to who you used to be. Not because you conquered everything, but because you became someone who no longer fits inside the old version of yourself. What once wounded you no longer defines your vibration. What once held you back no longer determines your path. What once scared you no longer sets your pace. What once limited you no longer has authority over you. You crossed the invisible line of consciousness, the line that separates those who wait from those who become. And now, you no longer wait for blessings to happen. You exist from the blessing that is already inside you. This is Ephesians 1-3, breathing inside your soul. You already carry what you're seeking. And when that truth finds space inside someone, that person doesn't simply walk, they ignite. Perception becomes deeper. Intuition becomes clearer. Energy becomes steadier. The heart becomes more open. The mind becomes freer. The spirit becomes more awake. And something very special begins to happen. Asterisk, asterisk, you stop trying to deserve. And you begin to simply correspond to what has already been released over you. Asterisk, asterisk, yes, correspond. Because the blessing doesn't arrive to impress you, it arrives to find you mature. And you grew. You grew in ways you never imagined you could. You grew in the silence. You grew in the pain. You grew in the waiting. You grew in the internal work no one saw. You grew through the hard choices only you know you made. And today, this expansion becomes unmistakable. Feel this. The peace inside you right now is not ordinary. The clarity surrounding you is not psychological. The strength rising in you is not emotional. The certainty pulsing inside you is not logical. It is spiritual. It is destiny. It is purpose. It is living promise. You are approaching the version of your life that has always been yours, but could only manifest once you reach this state of readiness. And you reached it. Now write in the comments, as a seal, as recognition, as final alignment, I am ready to live what is already mine. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes now. Breathe with intention. And allow this prayer to reach every part of your soul that was touched today. Let us pray. Father of all light, origin of life, strength that sustains, presence that never fails, we place before you everything that moved inside us in this moment. Every perception, every clarity, every new courage, every vibration that rose, every truth that awakened. Receive now, Lord, everything that was too heavy to carry alone. Receive the old fear that was still trying to whisper. Receive the hidden tiredness behind the smile. Receive the silent insecurity no one ever saw. Receive the emotional not only you knew was there. Receive the internal turmoil this person carried for far too long. And touch them, Father. Touch where the soul was marked. Touch where hope was wounded. Touch where the heart lost its shine. Touch where the mind lost direction. Touch where the spirit lost its voice. Right now, in this very second, let a new strength enter, a strength that doesn't come from effort, but from your presence. Breathe inside this person, Father. Breathe peace where there was tension. Breathe clarity where there was confusion. Breathe courage where there was fear. Breathe life where there was stagnation. Breathe strength where there was weakness. Breathe light where there was shadow. And rekindle what is true. May every wounded identity be restored. May every broken perception be realigned. May every insecurity be dissolved. May every doubt be silenced. May every weight be removed. And now, God, activate everything that was destined. Activate the blessings that were prepared. Activate the paths that were ready. Activate the opportunities that were waiting. Activate the connections that belong to the purpose. Activate the vision this person tried to dim. Activate the strength they thought they had lost. Activate the destiny that has been shining over them from the beginning. Lord, command the future to align. Command time to favor. Command the path to open. Command the purpose to manifest. Command the right doors to reveal themselves. Command peace to remain. Command the spirit to rise. Command the mind to understand. Command the soul to flourish. And declare over this life, you are not alone. You are not late. You are not lost. You are being guided. You are being prepared. You are being strengthened. You are being led into what is already yours. Father, seal this life with light. Seal with protection. Seal with discernment. Seal with sensitivity. Seal with courage. Seal with purpose. Seal with peace that surpasses all understanding. Seal with clear direction. Seal with spiritual strength. Seal with unshakable identity. And from this day forward, may this person walk with elevated consciousness, with an awakened spirit, with a clean heart, with aligned energy, with steady steps. May they never return to what was already broken. May they never again accept less than what was destined. May they never shrink to fit. May they never doubt their own light. May they never forget who they are. We declare, nothing will be impossible. Nothing will be out of reach. Nothing will be denied. What is purpose will arrive. What is promise will flourish. What is destiny will be revealed. Because you, Lord, have already blessed. You have already released. You have already prepared. You have already directed. And we receive with faith, with awareness, with maturity, with gratitude, with identity. In the name of Jesus. In the name of the light. In the name of the truth that sustains us. And now, before this prayer ends, I release a blessing directly over your life, over your home, over your path, over your spirit. Receive. May light find you where doubt tried to hide you. May peace cover you where anxiety tried to rule you. May strength lift you where exhaustion tried to hold you down. May clarity guide you where confusion tried to overwhelm you. May purpose call you where you thought you had no value. May hope renew you where you almost gave up. May courage embrace you where fear tried to silence you. I declare, may your days be guided, may your steps be established. May your decisions be illuminated, may your soul be protected, may your mind be strengthened, may your spirit be expanded. I declare over you favor, open paths, right doors, perfect alignments, sent connections, permanent peace, sharp discernment, deep healing, complete restoration, and prosperity in every area where you plant your energy. May everything that does not belong to your destiny lose strength. May everything that does not sustain you lose space. May everything that is not for you move away without conflict. And may everything that belongs to you run toward you with divine speed. I bless your home. I bless your emotional life. I bless your health. I bless your mind. I bless your projects. I bless your relationships. I bless your purpose. I bless your future. And I declare, may you walk with light. May you carry peace. May you emanate strength. May you live aligned with the best that heaven created for you. You are blessed. You are protected. You are guided. You are strengthened. You are sustained. You are loved. You are chosen. And nothing, absolutely nothing, will stop what is already written over you. Amen, amen, and amen. If this reflection and this prayer touched your soul, if something inside you awakened, if your vibration rose, like this video as an act of alignment, and write in the comments, I receive everything that is already mine. And subscribe to this channel to continue walking with me through this journey of purpose, healing, and expansion.